the good days are ahead, but I feel like the best days are behind us. Ooh, bars. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Hello, welcome back to my channel. It is Wednesday the 18th and it is almost 5 minutes till 11. Y'all, we up early today. So I had an appointment this morning, check off the list. I went and grabbed some breakfast and yeah, now we're gonna get on this couch and watch some holiday movies. And then also work on changing our car insurance because apparently my insurance is going up and we need to make some changes. So we'll work on that today. We'll work on some certification work stuff, get that taken care of. And then, update, the last and final in the series of debauchery. This is the navy blue jacket, and yeah, so last in the series. There will be no additions for the coming weeks. I still will be sure to to pull out the rest of them to show all the colors, and so that's what we're gonna do today. So we're gonna finish watching one of the holiday movies that my sister recommended, get that taken care of, get that watched today, and just do a couple things around the house. We'll probably need to clean some things today, so hopefully we'll have some areas that we can bring you along to and check out what we're cleaning. But I'm just so grateful that it's not noon and I'm on. It's not even 11 yet and we're filming, so we're doing good today. So sit back, relax, and we'll see what else we can get into. Oh, also, yes, rocking my Dodgers hat. Go Dodgers. And we'll see what today brings. So let's go. All right, back. Doing a little wiping down of the items. Shout out if any of you are still wiping down your grocery items. I still tend to do it because one, I just do. It's like a habit we picked up during, and now we just can't let it go during the virus. But also, I know that this is cold and flu season, so also to protect against that as well. This is kind of something that probably forever be doing, and it'll be one of those memes where my grandkids, 20-30 years from now are like, Grandma was still wiping down the groceries. And she will be. The problem is sometimes when you know too much, you know too much. I don't know if there's any other healthcare girlies out here. I feel like the more you know, the worse it is. Like, I wish at times I didn't know as much as I do, because it would make for a more pleasant life experience, because then I feel like you could just live your life blissfully and be without reserve or worry. Sometimes ignorance is bliss, but also sometimes to be in the know is to be in the know. So anyhow, no real big plans for today. Took care of that insurance change I needed to take care of because they was trying to get your girl, and that is not gonna happen. We're having mashed potatoes, green beans, the like long string green beans, and crab cakes tonight for dinner. So picked up a couple of those things. So I'm gonna probably put some of this stuff away in the pantry, and you know what time it is, and make a coffee o'clock. So maybe put this stuff up real quick and then we'll come back and make a coffee and then we'll talk. All right, back with our coffee. I felt like I was missing out these last couple of days not being in Kim's coffee corner, Kim's corner of the house. But we're back, and I thought I would just note a couple things. Oh, update on Glasses Gate, Prada Nada Gate. I got an email, I think maybe 2 days ago, that said your order has shipped, it's on the way. So fingers crossed that we are able to get our sunglasses in the correct quality order in which we are expecting it to be. And obviously, of course, I'll film that since it's been a whole thing now. I'll be sure to film that and make sure we talk about what they look like, and then give a good now final honest review on the sunglasses and kind of what's been going on. I feel like it's a little bit crooked. I feel like we're sitting like at a tilt. We straight? I guess so. Anyhow, second thing I wanted to note is I watch the news, I'd say fairly frequently, sometimes depending on the day, and if it gets away from me, I don't, you know, catch the 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever news. But I will tell you something that I think that we all were initially, not we, not including me, we as in the general, we're all kind of joking and laughing about earlier in the year, and how things have kind of transpired, say that. So I will say that there was jokings of Cat Williams and you know, bringing revelations and that things are gonna be exposed in 2024. He was correct. He 100% was spot on that. I think we're all initially thinking like, oh, it'll just be these couple things and then it'll kind of fizzle out. No. 2024 for me will forever be the year of exposure, transparency, truth telling. I think probably this year more than any has been the year I've gotten more data breach notifications, more scammer calls, more scammer alerts, more company exposés. The most recent thing I saw earlier today on the news is that Grubhub is being sued for falsely marketing their fees, signing up restaurants without permission. I mean, yada, yada, yada. And I just think, man, the good days are ahead, but I feel like the best days are behind us. Ooh, bars. The best days are behind us. There are better days ahead. Yes, for sure. Absolutely. Because what we're doing now is not working. So yes, there are better days ahead, but for me personally, in my life that I've lived, the best days are behind. I don't think it could get any better than it was back then, and especially the way things are moving forward now. I don't think so. No, it's not. It's quite literally not. And I mentioned it a few days ago. I'll repeat the sentiment I had then. Get your house in order. If there's something you wanted to do, do it. If there's something you wanted to buy, buy it. Obviously, of course, within reason, with the intention that you're not going to be homeless, lose your car, you know, lose your job because of whatever you're doing. But better days are ahead, the best are behind us. So we really need to stay diligent, stay steadfast, and really stay motivated to tick off those things off our lists. Bucket list, to-do list, life list, career list, family list, whatever list you have, start working on those things today. Starting a YouTube channel, doing all this stuff has always been something I thought about, but never fully, I guess, had the intention until most recently, now that I've had the time to be able to do that. I feel like I have the time, so might as well do it now. But once again, do what you need to do so that when your number is called, that first of all, it's written in the book upstairs. And then second of all, that you leave here without any regret or remorse for anything you've done. If you've wronged someone, make it right. If you need to reconnect with somebody, do it today. You don't have to always completely mend the fence. It just needs to be some assimilation. So if there's missing pickets, If there's missing posts, the fence is still there. You can still call a fence a fence. It's just a broken fence. But make sure you line up your life's work to show what you want it to show. Whether that be more philanthropy, whether that be more volunteering, whether that be more showing up for your friends and family, showing up for yourself, however, in whatever it takes to get the job done, get it done. So that's my Kim's Corner rant for today. And I'm out of creamer because I buy 5,000 a week and I still use 5,000 a week. But yeah, it's so funny. The other day, my sister had a creamer in her fridge, and she was like, "Oh, I need to hurry up and use it because it's close to the expiration date." And she goes, "Expiration date?" She's like, I never am able to keep one that long that it actually goes towards the expiration date." So she is a 2-bottle-a-week creamer person. I'm a week and a half, 2-week bottle creamer person, but I have not shopped in quite some time for creamer because I've had them hoarded at her house, and et cetera, et cetera. So I need to order some creamer for my coffee. So I'll do that today. And I guess the glasses will probably be here later on this week sometime. I'm not sure, who knows. But yay, they have it in stock. Y'all, they never have the creamer that I love, the flavor. Well, first of all, they discontinued the one that I absolutely love. We won't even mention it. They discontinued to try to bring back some fraudulent tasting and looking creamer. No, ma'am. The boycott was on. I'm surprised they've not brought it back yet, because at one point there was like a petition going on. It was a whole thing. Listen. So now they have a creamer that I actually do like. And so I usually tend to order it for the pickup. So let me order that and then we'll be right back. All right, change of scenery. Merry Christmas. Y'all, this is the state of my tree. I don't know what to do. So initially last year, I think like maybe this row went out. No, I lied. This row up here went out. Somehow, and I changed at least 60 bulbs between then and now. Y'all, look. This is all out. I have a row, and I promise that's probably the row that I plugged in. This just flickered out today. And then, y'all, I don't know what to do. My tree looks looking real pathetic. So I don't know what I should do. Should I add more lights and just leave it? Should I turn the light? I mean, the lights are what makes it so pretty. I mean, I probably need 1, 2, 3 like small sections. I mean, because at this point, let's just face it, the bottom is just, nobody's even checking for that. I mean, and then again, also now that I look at it, it looks like the lights are here and here. So it looks like it's intentional, but I don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh no, just Christmas is a bust. Just a bust. We gotta get the content any way we can, baby. I have secured the restored and rectified fruitcake. Yay. So Walmart has this new policy that I'll say quickly, that if you have a food product, you can't bring it back without a receipt. It happened, whatever. Run that back. I knew I wanted it, but my sister had my receipt, so I proceeded to go in and get it, come back out and bring it back, because at the end of the day, we already paid for it. It's already ours. We already bought it. But what we're not going to do is waste money, because we don't have money to waste in 2024 or in 2025. So I went ahead and took the liberty to return mine that was open in exchange for one that was not open, and I was sure to check the edges and make sure nobody had tampered with it, and we secured it. We secured that. We secured some creamers, 3 to be exact, because we're hoarding, and we're going to continue to hoard the things that are important, like coffee creamer for our coffee time. So headed home. It's about 6:15, a bit trafficky, but I wanted to go ahead and get it done because I didn't want to waste my makeup for today, since we went out a little early today. I didn't want to waste my makeup by not, you know, showing up for myself today. So ran out real quick to go grab that stuff, return some stuff, and yeah, so we are on our way back home. So y'all, it's super dark already, and it's just this time of year is so depressing. So if you have seasonal affective disorder, if you know somebody who does, or if this time of year gets you down, really make sure you are tapping into all the resources and the things that make you so happy, oh so happy, because it can be debilitating not seeing the sun, not getting out, and not being able to do the things that normally make you happy because it's already super dark and super late. So anyways, well, okay, well, I love you so much. We'll be home in a bit, and then we're gonna get started on dinner. If it looks appealing, we may show the plate. Otherwise, the food's always really good. These crab cakes are already pre-made. I'm not making them from scratch because, one, I don't have that kind of free time tonight. So we'll just take a peek at it, and then we'll see what's going on. I posted a short earlier today that said life is short, pun intended, and go on that vacation. So please make sure you guys are taking care of your wellness and your mental health as well. That is a part of your wellness. And just make sure you're really being mindful of, Lord, mindful's everywhere this year. Really make sure you're just being intuitive to your body and how you're feeling, and making sure that you're keeping up with the things that make you happy and bring you joy and bring you peace in your life, and really search out and look for those things in 2025, because I tell you, it is rough out here and it can get rougher, but you gotta stay sane. So, all right, let me go focus on the traffic because it's dark, and we'll chat back later. All right, I'm back in my jammies, my holiday jammies, and I just really wanted to make sure I close out today with some more information, because not only are we having fun, hold on, let's get some adjustment. Not only are we having fun, we're also making sure that we are on our Zoom and getting the job done. So I think I mentioned the other day that mentioned the other day, recruiter questions and kind of how to get the screening process done. So we'll go to the next step in the process, which is now the official interview. I'll give a couple of tips that I like, and then we'll use the help of our AI friends to really put us on to what's really supposed to be going on these interviews. So I personally dress for success. I always err on the side of overdressing. It's better to look better over than under. So I always overdress, whether that's an in-person interview or whether that's on a virtual Zoom, a virtual Teams, whatever you want to call it, meeting. I always overdress. So obviously, of course, unless you stand up in the middle of the interview, in which case I have had coworkers conducting the interview and they look business on the top and party at the bottom. And so just make sure you can't see whether it's here or here. Just make sure you're dressed as if somebody's going to see you if you're going to stand up. I typically put on false lashes. I kind of overdo my makeup in the sense that I make it a little bit darker so it translates on the camera, because there's nothing worse than your orange lights washing you out and then you looking pale or looking, like you're on death's door. So just really making sure you're not like down and out for this interview. Also relax. Just relax. Take a deep breath. Listen to some meditative music. Listen to, some praise and worship. Whatever you got to do to relax yourself, do it. Don't smoke beforehand. Definitely don't be before you do it. Just really try to make sure you're just mitigating your nerves so that doesn't translate into a shaky voice and and losing focus on the questions. Also, keep paper close by. Sometimes my favorite thing that they'll do is ask like a multi-layered question and then expect that you're going to be able to knock down your nerves, pay attention, and then also understand the question that they're asking. So feel free to say, hey, I'm sorry, could you repeat that question again? I missed that last part. But really make sure you're jotting down quick hand so you can actually read it, some further questions you may have about what they're actually asking you, so you can answer that question efficiently. Obviously, of course, be prepared, but that we'll go into with the help of our AI friends. Second point of my own personal, don't overshare. Don't tell any personal stories unless they are validated by the question in which they've asked you, or unless it specifically pertains to something that you are giving further insight about for you as a person on the job. Don't talk about any trips you've taken, anything about your personal life. Just really want to make sure you're avoiding All things that are personal that can either do one of two things: lean you in a poor light, or lean towards a person who doesn't necessarily need a job because you just got off a trip from the south of France with your two closest friends on a yacht. Like, be very mindful in your interview process, and I would say also in general and wherever you're working, just to really try to keep your work relationship work related and your personal because often too many times I found I don't overshare. I don't share anything. I am like a vault. Like, you're like, oh, you going on vacation? I'm like, I'm going to visit my family, and I could be on a to Spain the next day. So like, you really want to be sure that you are not, that you're very even keeled, and you're not giving a positive or a negative. You're just being yourself, but also not giving opportunities for them to infer something about you that's not true. So definitely don't overshare. Also, limit distractions. Pets, kids, spouses, cell phones, beepers if you're old school and got one of them. Put all that stuff away. Try to have your interview, if you're doing it virtually, in a place that's quiet. Put a note on the door that says do not disturb. You know, make sure that everyone knows, hey, I have an important phone call. Leave me be. Please, Lord, don't do your interview in your car. Like, find a coat closet somewhere. Find a bathroom in the back corner of your office. Ask a coworker who has an office that you can use somewhere. Anywhere but in your car. Your car gives desperation. It gives unstable. It gives unhinged. So please, if you want a job, period, do not do your interview in your car on your lunch break. Don't do it. It's just not worth it. Don't do it. Reschedule it for a time that you can actually do it. Take time off if you have to. Take an hour extra outside of your lunch to, you know, hey, I need some PTO today. If you really want that job bad enough, make it work for your schedule, but please don't be desperate and be in your car looking like you're eating your lunch takeout and then also, hey, I just penciled in this interview for this time. Don't do that, y'all. Just don't do it. And then also, this will come up later, but research the company and role and just be ready for anything. I've had the most random questions thrown at me. I'm like, what are you talking about? That doesn't even make sense. So just make sure you just be prepared for whatever could possibly come. So we've gone through the recruiter. We've asked all the questions. They successfully moved us on to the next step. Now we're in the interview. And this can be the interview with who you report to, who you report to reports to, whatever. All of this still goes. And these are AI's top 5, because I've given them instructions, of course, on the top 5 questions or the top 5 things you need to do for your interview to be interview ready. Number 1, I already mentioned it, research the company and the role. Understand the company's mission, their values. Really do a thorough detective work. Be an investigator, be a private investigator, be a PI, be a whatever. Do what you have to do to research that company, their mission statement, their values, what they stand by, what they're known for. Really just kind of deep diving into the culture of the company. And then also tailor your questions to answer that. So if you're interviewing with a company that sells dog food, then you know you really want to tailor your questions towards you know, what they stand by. You know, don't bring up a story about how you kicked a dog. No animals were harmed in the filming of this video, FYI. But anyhow, don't say, oh, I kicked a dog, or I hate dogs, or I got bit by a dog as a kid and so now I don't deal with dogs. Like, they don't need to know all that. They just need to know you're going to be a good worker, you're going to show up on time, you're going to do your job, you're going to go home, and you're not going to harm any dogs in the process. Do you see what I'm saying? So like, they don't need to know everything. These people are just your bosses, but your major number 1 boss is your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Okay, so leave the details out. Okay, so for sure, but answer your questions, and then also ask your questions that are tailored towards the job specific needs, and then also the company itself. Number 2, practice the common interview questions. Don't go into an interview cold turkey. Yeah, I'm sure you probably said 1,000 times, my weaknesses are being a perfectionist and inability to delegate tasks. Yeah, but you still need to make sure that it makes sense in how you're delivering the message. So don't get so cocky and outside yourself that you forget the main thing, which is you want a job, you want a good paying job, and that you need to perform as best you possibly can. So that, so they're gonna ask you questions like, so please tell me a little bit more about you. Hi, my name is Kimberly, and for the past 12 years, I've done blah, 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 blah. And in that roles, I've done blah, 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 blah. Like, have a story ready. Don't do the, so I have, no, you know who you are. Tell them, hi, my name is Kimberly, and for the past 15 years, I've been the Chief Marketing Director of blah, 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 blah organization. And during that time, I was able to blah, 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 blah. Like, make sure you know what you've been doing and tell them what you've been doing. They can see your resume, but when you tell them about yourself, that should speak to more about you as a whole in your merit and how you interact and how you are as a colleague, how you are as a worker. But then also, I always like to add on the end, and I like long walks to the beach. No, I'm joking, don't add that. And always at the end, you know, in my spare time, I enjoy hanging out with family and I enjoy vacationing at the beach. I mean, you could have gone to the beach once. They don't know. And then when you do go on vacation, tell them, oh, I'm just gonna take care of some family and friend things, or I'm gonna take care of family, I'm gonna help family move, whatever. Don't tell them, oh, I'm gonna go jet set to Japan, and then I'm gonna also go to New Zealand and go see the Kiwis. Like, once again, they don't need to know all your business. Tell them the basics. What do they need to know about you? You're reliable, you're trustworthy, you're hardworking, and then done. Move on to the next question. They don't need the shenanigans. Leave that crap. You'll be at your job still, and you'll be upset that you did all that for no reason. Okay. And then also, they may ask you, why do you want to work here? Because I need a job. No, wrong answer. You know, you tell them, I'm going to work here because I want to further grow in my career. I also know that the company's mission and values line up with what I would like to professionally develop. Blah, 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 blah. Make it make sense, people. You want a job. You freaking don't want to keep staying there and punching in and punching out. Make it work. We're not saying completely lie. We're just saying make sure that they understand that you want to be there and not just, you know, I really want to, no, you know what you want to do and do it. Tell them that's what you want to do. Okay. Also, they mentioned the STAR method, which is situation, task, action, and result. And then structure it in kind of behavioral questions. So like the situation is, be confident in your answer. So situation is, I had this happen. These are the tasks that I performed. These are the actions that were as a result of the tasks that I performed in the situation that I was in. And then these were the results. I, you know, decreased no-show appointments. I improved employee morale. Whatever you need to do, say it. We're not saying lie. Once again, we're just saying make it make sense, people. Of course, I already mentioned dress appropriately. We already know, don't come in with no foolery on. I don't think in any job setting, whether you're gonna be standing outside and taking orders in a drive-through, or you're gonna be, you know, taking dictation from the CEO, jeans, no ma'am. We know you got one pair of pants, and if you don't, somebody you know has a pair of pants that you can borrow, and a shirt that at least has buttons on it if you're a man. Okay, and at least it looks like a blouse if you're a woman, despite the fact that I'm in my pajamas telling you this. I'm telling you this because I know. Make sure you have something decent on to wear, people. Make sure you look put together, whether you're, you know, living in a friend's basement or you have a penthouse apartment on, you know, in downtown in your city. Make sure you look like something. And something as in, not like you're getting ready to go start picking up trash, okay? Like, don't do that. And then also be respectful of their time. Try your best. All things happen. Try your best not to be late. Don't be late. Don't show up late. Try to be as professional as possible. You know, respect the opportunity and the time given, and just really make sure you are not looking like you could have better places to be besides there. Okay. All right, number 4. See, look, we're already going in the same thing. Show enthusiasm and positivity. I am so grateful for the opportunity. Thank you so much. I mean, don't give pick Misha. Don't be beggarish. We're not saying be beggarish. We're just saying have them understand that, you know, thank you so much for taking the time today. I know it's so close to the holidays, and I really appreciate you being able to squeeze me in, you know, to accommodate my schedule. Thank you. I really appreciate that so much. You know, that goes a long way. this is not mentioned, but I also still think there is a lost art in, you know, sending a thank you email. Thank you so much for the time. I've been bad about doing this over the last couple years and forgetting to do it, but I really feel like that's one of the things I'm going to pick back up in 2025 is sending those thank you emails. Obviously, of course, snail mail is nice. I used to send that all the time, but of course we've gotten out of that snail mail age and everything's very digital now. So even just sending a email, you know, thanking them for their time. Please let me know, you know, if there's any other information that you may have regarding blah, 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 questions you may have asked, whatever. But just also, that would be something maybe that I would add, because it's a lost art. And I think just, even just the simplest, you know, thank you so much for taking the time today. I really appreciated meeting you and talking about how your daughter is going to dance in a recital next week and how excited she is about that. Like, even just the littlest things like that sometimes can be the tipping point on, like, man, this would be a really good coworker. You know, they're really empathetic, blah, 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 blah. And then that way you show some of yourself. Obviously, of course, be, you know, genuine, you know what I mean? But just make sure you're also keeping in mind that those small things do go a long way when it comes to interviewing and when it comes to, portraying yourself as a actual human person and not just as a bot doing a job all day long, right? They want to actually know that they can, like, count on you, and that you are a real person and not just someone who's going to just come do the work and leave, which is fine, do that, but also understanding that you may have to do more than you're asked because somebody else may need your help and that they can count on you for that. All right, last and final, ask insightful questions. Have some well thought out questions. They say include things about team dynamics, company growth, or challenges the organization is facing. I already mentioned a couple of these in the previous, would be, what do you think your company's biggest challenge is right now? What challenges are you seeing? What challenges do you anticipate in the foreseeable future? Once again, if they're saying, we're not sure if people are going to want to work here after we make this merger, girl, run. Sir, no thank you. I mean, thank you, no thank you, good day. Like, you want to listen to the red flags. You want to interview as if also they want you. Don't always go into the interview and saying, don't always go into the interview saying, I want them. You want them to want you. It needs to be like almost a relationship, like a two-way street, Like, I want to work here, but they also need to want me to work here. And it doesn't work cohesively if both parties aren't understanding of that. Yes, of course you need a job, but also you wouldn't be applying if they didn't have an open position. Like, so they need somebody, right? So you want to be that somebody, they want you to be that somebody, and so we have a marriage of a working relationship where you get paid every 2 weeks. You take your PTO and you go on your vacations and you go about your business. So just make sure you also don't give off desperation that you want to work there so bad that you actually fabricate stories. I mean, a little bit, but like, you don't want to be so outside of the norm that it's going to be hard for you to keep it up, remember, or speak intelligently about something. You can't say you headed up, you know, the company's only strategic project in stem cell research and you don't even have a degree in anything scientific. Do you know, like, you want to make sure that what you're telling them is the truth, so that not necessarily it can be validated, but so that if they're called to ask you, hey, we need somebody who speaks, you know, Mandarin, and you put on your resume fluent in Mandarin, and then I hear they've called you out, and then now you got to go try to figure out how you're going to Google Translate to help them out. So just make sure you're mindful of what you're telling that is not so far-fetched that it cannot be replicated, okay? Because of course, that's how you get fired under SPREC. And you won't have anything to go to the EEOC about because you set yourself up and started telling them lies day one. So that's my TED Talk today on interviewing top fives. Obviously, there's more. If you have more, leave them in the comments section so that we all can be bad baddies in 2025, get a new job or whatever, and making this paper out here. paper the legit way, please, the legit way, but also making sure that we are successful in whatever we decide to do in our professional lives. So anyhow, I'm going to go and make myself a drink, a little drink, and try to figure out what mess I've made from my camera settings. I probably already talked about it. Camera settings on my sit down 2024 beauty favorites video. Yeah, that's a whole debacle. So I'm gonna go sit down and try to figure out what sense I can make of it. I'm sure it's probably not super salvageable, which is fine. And I may just segue. Hopefully the salvageable will have lots of bloopers, I'm sure, with the salvageable, and then hopefully we have a video that is not only informative but also entertaining, because why not? So yeah, I'm gonna make this drink because I think I'm gonna need it, because I spent probably 45 minutes setting it up, an hour and 30 minutes filming it, only to realize that the footage was trash. Yeah, sure. I'm gonna go do that. I hope you are successful in your interview process. Maybe the next video, I'll make a notation. We'll be talking possibly about once you've gotten the offer, what to talk about, negotiations, etc., etc. And kind of how you want to move forward if you get the offer, and give some tidbits and some tricks for that, how not to look thirsty, but also make sure you're maximizing your income potential once they give you an offer, because that will be pretty much the only time for a while that you'll get a bonus, get a raise. You know, when starting out, you really want to make sure you're maximizing how much your income, just that potential is, but you really want to make sure you're maximizing what your starting rate is, because of course it'll probably at least, you know, a year, possibly, I'm sure likely a year before you're eligible or able, at least maybe 6 months, we'll say 6 months before you're able, because 90 days will be your probationary period. You can't take any vacation time and blah, 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 blah. No, we don't care about that stuff. We want to know when we're going to get our money again and when our money going to come up. Okay, because we're going to spend that check and we're going to spend it and get it right back. But we also need to know that when the next time we spend it, it's going to be on increase. So making sure that we know what we need to be doing in the initial offer to make sure our income is closer to what we really want, if not the exact thing that we want. That way we are happy in that, because there's nothing worse than being excited about a job, getting there, working that job, and then not getting paid what you were anticipating. But you should already know what you're getting paid, because you shouldn't have signed it unless you wanted it. But also knowing that your income may not increase for some time, and really having to be okay with that until it does. So we'll talk about the offer and how to get that negotiated and how that'll work out in your favor if you do all the right things to make sure that you're setting yourself up for a super successful start and onboarding to whatever job you decide to start. So it's a drink o'clock everywhere, so we're gonna go. Hope you have a great rest of your evening, and we will, I don't know what the plan is for tomorrow, but we're gonna do something. So have a good night, talk to you later, and don't forget to keep striving, keep looking, and make sure you are applying yourself in the aspects of your life that you know are deficient. So, alrighty, love you so much. Talk to you later. Good night. Bye. Not falsely, they were falsely marketing their fees. Plane. I could be on a plane.